2022 was a complete roller coaster for us, starting from the very 1st of January 2022 to the very end of December of 2022. But before I tell you what happened on the very 1st of January 2022, let me give you a backstory. The backstory is that since I came to US in 2016, I was always interested in real estate. Yes, real estate. And since then, I used to drive at nice neighborhoods, look up properties at Zillow and other real estate platforms. Long story short, I was always dreaming about buying a property in US. And I did try that in 2018, right after my graduation, to buy a property, but I failed. I failed in buying a property, but my dreams never died. So later on in 2021, I sold that idea to my wife, and all she said,
I don't know about that, but if you think we can do it, let's do it.
and that's it. In 2021, we started looking for properties all over again. We saw a couple of properties, placed bid on a couple of properties, but we couldn't find anything until the very end of the year of 2021. We finally found a house that popped out of nowhere and 9 other people bid on it. But at the end, eventually, our bid was the highest bid and we won that property. And on the 1st of January, we moved into that property. Now, it wasn't just any property, it was the best property that we could ever get. It checked all of our boxes. My wife wanted a 2-car garage, it has that. I wanted an open floor plan, it has that. I also wanted a pool, it has that. I wanted a jacuzzi, it has that, and much more. Long story short, it was a dream property for 2 dumb kids in their 20s. After finally getting the keys of the house, we moved into that house on the 1st of January 2022. And after that, the whole month of January was spent in furnishing that house to make it our home. Now, the lesson that you can learn from this story is that if you have dreams and you work hard enough towards those dreams and manifest them every single day, eventually you will be able to bring those dreams into your reality. And I'm not just saying that because of this very first story. You will see the same consistency of lesson in all of my stories. Anyways, let's move on to the next month of February. Now, February came with 2 blessings, and the very first blessing that I received in the very first week of February was purchasing of my very first electric car, which was Mustang Mach-E. This is my Mustang Mach-E. Just like the house story, the car also did not came out of nowhere. It also has a story. So why don't you guys enjoy that story while I go take a hot shower. The story starts 5 months ago when I made my very first video on my very first electric vehicle, Tesla Model 3. Let me show you. I love Tesla and I want a Tesla, but I cannot get that car without test driving that car. So I called a couple of showrooms and all of them are overbooked due to the COVID situation. So I asked a friend if he can do something, and he called his friend and that friend called his friend, and someone's friend agreed to show us their Tesla. So today we'll be going to meet that guy and see their Tesla, ask all the questions that we want to ask about the Tesla. I did not drove that car that day, but I sat in an electric vehicle, and the smoothness and the power of a Tesla Model 3 made me fall in love with that car. But the problem was that I was still not ready to do the jump from my car to an electric car because I loved my car. I had a Toyota Camry XSC, but there was a twist that came a week ago. And the twist is that a week ago, I was randomly checking my car's value on Cali Blue Book, and I was shocked to see that due to inflated prices, my car's value was almost equal to a brand new Toyota Camry. Now, do remember, my car was 2 years old and I drove it everywhere. But long story short, the moment I saw that value, I ran towards all the dealers because it was a no-brainer for a smart guy like me. And this was time to convert from a gas car to an EV car. After hustling for 2-3 days, I finally found a dealer who was willing to give me this stupid value of my car. And while I was trading my car in, he asked me what kind of car I want, and I straightforwardly told him that, hey, I want an EV electric vehicle, and the only electric vehicle I'm looking into is Tesla Model 3. He said that he don't have a Tesla in his showroom, but he has something else that might attract me. And that's when he brought Mustang Mach-E in front of my eyes for the very first time. And I have to say, it was love on first sight, and rest is history.
And just like that, I got my very first electric car. Now let's move on to the next story that happened in the second week of February. But before I tell you that story, you guys have to come a little bit closer. Much better. So basically, in the second week of February, I received the biggest blessing of my life, and that was that I had a nikah ceremony in a mosque. I kept the event private and low profile because that's how I wanted it to be, but there is a story behind that too. And the story is that I'm from Pakistan, and in our Southeast Asian culture of Indian Pakistan, we have literally big weddings. And by big weddings, I mean that we would actually have 3, 4, 5 events for a wedding, and we would invite more than 2, 3, 4, 500 people. But surprisingly, me growing in that culture, I never wanted it. As far as I could remember, whenever anyone would ask what would be my dream marriage, I would always tell them one thing, that I want just one event, the nikah ceremony, in a mosque with a handful of people. And that is exactly what I got. So, moral of the story, if your dreams are real and you manifest them enough, they will come true. Now moving on to the next months of March and April. March and April were a little bit low-key because I was trying to manage the house around that time, and I was learning a lot of new things around the house, like how to clean the pool, how to manage the pool, how to clean your driveway when the snow happens, how to cut the grass, and a lot of more things. But one important thing that I learned in those 2 months was my editing style for my videos. I finally figured out my editing style that I was comfortable with and that I was happily and satisfied with. And after that, my videos became much more creative and fun to watch. Like this one, which I know that you guys are actually enjoying. That's why you are still watching. And if you're still watching, please drop a like, because that will help me with the algorithm, and drop a comment about the past stories or the stories that you're going to hear down the road in this video. Anyways, now moving on to the next month of May. May was so much fun because in May our swimming pool was completely open and we were jumping in that pool every single day. Even when the days were cold, we would still jump in it because we were excited to have a swimming pool in our house, so the cold wouldn't bother us much. Other than that, I took one trip to my most favorite beach, Ocean City, Maryland. But that trip became the worst trip I ever took to a beach. One question, why is the town so dead on this weekend?
They were calling for really bad weather. It's supposed to be like 50-mile-an-hour winds. So
Got it. We just came in and just checked in the hotel and we were like, the whole town is dead. That's like strange.
yeah, it's not really season yet. Season doesn't start until May 31st.
May 31st. Got it. Okay. Thank you. I know that trip was a disaster, but we did learn a lesson, and we learned it the hard way that before going to a beach, we have to check the weather of that beach. Anyways, let's moving on to the next month of June. June was fun and exciting because I developed a new hobby of cycling. I want a bicycle, but there's a problem, and that is that I don't have money to buy that. But I also have a solution, so let's go and work on that solution. Hey babes, you look so beautiful today.
What do you want?
Can I get a bicycle?
A bike? But why?
Gas prices are too high.
Gas prices. You have an electric car.
Can I still get a bicycle?
Fine, but only if you wash the dishes for the next week.
Done. Can we have the gentleman's hand on it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I get some peace now?
Yep. May your soul rest in peace now. And when we went out to look for the bicycles, that's when I realized that bicycles are super expensive in US. But that didn't stop me because I still got the bicycle and it was so much fun. I rode that bike everywhere. I rode it in the neighborhood, I rode it around the lakes, I rode it on the trails. I rode that bike almost everywhere and it was so much fun. The whole month of June was me coming back from work and taking my bike and going it out for a ride. It was amazing. Now came July. In July, I was still cutting the grass and doing all the house chores, but along with that, I was also enjoying my swimming pool and the bike rides. But on the 4th of July, we went to see the biggest fireworks that happen in our area, and that was epic. Lots of crowd was there. As always, it was an epic and an amazing show. After that, in the mid of July, I went to the biggest musical concert that happens in our area. Now, I don't go there for the music, I just go there for the crowd to enjoy that, and that's exactly what I did. And I made new friends.
How old are you? I'm 32. I'm 29. Okay. Yeah, we took a break. Yeah. 29. Everyone is one more year of our 20s and we're gonna play. Exactly. We're gonna play hard. Yep. That's a little bit. Yep. Play time, baby. Yep. Never too old to play. Exactly.
And just like that, July was gone and now came August. August and September were the most epic months because that's when our traveling season started. And that's when I started making a lot of traveling vlogs because I took a road trip all the way from Scranton, Pennsylvania to Key West.
On this road trip, we will be traveling for 10 days, making 7 amazing, beautiful videos and covering more than 3,000 miles back and forth from our home sweet home in Scranton, Pennsylvania to all the way down to Key West, Florida. Obviously, we won't be traveling all the way straight down to Key West. In fact, we will be making lots of stops, and our first stop on this road trip today is going to be Ocean City, Maryland.
We had to stop at Ocean City, Maryland because, as you know, that's my most favorite beach. And this time it wasn't a hurricane season, it was a tourist season. And that is when that beach is at its peak. But that didn't bother us. In fact, we enjoyed that and we did lots of activities from riding a bike, eating all the crab cakes over there and enjoying the beach. Ocean City was fun. From Ocean City, Maryland, our next stop was Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where we stopped in between for some food and we met some amazing people at Zach's Beach.
So y'all got like a YouTube channel?
Yes.
You gonna put this on YouTube?
I'll try.
What's your channel? I'm about to subscribe to it.
It's called The Brown Dude.
Yeah, make sure you post this now so I can go see myself on the internet.
After enjoying their delicious chicken and that beautiful conversation, we went straight to Myrtle Beach. I think we were in Myrtle Beach for almost one evening. We didn't stay there for much long because we didn't enjoy Myrtle Beach that much, as it wasn't as fun as our previous beach, Ocean City, Maryland was. So we stayed there in an evening and we moved to our next stop, which was Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia is a very old and historic town. We loved that town. It was so beautiful because the way they have kept their history. They redid all the houses, all the streets, all the roads, but they preserved their history and made that town as a historic town. Along with that, it's also the most haunted town of US. We did not know about that when we were there, but we realized that later on when we moved on to the next town, which was Daytona Beach. Now, I loved Daytona Beach because I got to ride my bicycle on the beach. Yes, the sand was amazing for that and it was a beautiful sunny day. I enjoyed that. But one tragedy that happened on Daytona Beach was that we drove our car to the other side of the beach and our car got stuck in the sand.
We are completely stuck in sand. Forward. Forward?
Go forward.
Okay, what? हट जा, baby, हट जा.
Keep going. Do not let go.
Woohoo! Forward. Done. Thank you. That was a freaking adventure. And even the police cars are coming to rescue us.
We were scared, we were nervous, we did everything in our capability, but the car was not moving. Luckily, some of the people who were in the hotel right on the beach saw us and they came to help us. That was epic how some random people helped these two dumb kids who are stuck in the sand. And the reason that time was scary because there was no one on that beach and the tide was getting higher and higher. In the end, when we were almost going off that beach, the water was almost touching the tires of the car. That's how the tides were. But that was a beautiful memory and it was still fun. We were laughing about it. I know, it's dumb and stupid, but that's how life is. Moving on from Daytona Beach, we drove all the way to Miami Everglades to see some crocodiles. We failed to see crocodiles out in the wild, but we did saw some in the captivity. That wasn't fun, but something is better than nothing, right? Then from Everglades, we went to Miami Beach, the most happening beach of the country, Miami, Florida. Again, the weather was epic and it was also crowdy and it was fun too. Can't tell you all the fun that we had, but trust me, we had fun. And then the next day when we were done from the Miami, we took the ride all the way from Miami, Florida to Key West, Florida. The last key where the 0 mile marker is, where the first mile marker is, the most beautiful island that I have seen so far of US. Again, as always, Key West was amazing. We had so much fun. We relived our moments over there and I got some epic drone shots that a lot of people think that are not mine, but they're actually mine. After enjoying some Cuban coffee, some amazing food and some cigars, we drove all the way back from Key West, Florida to Scranton, Pennsylvania. Obviously we stopped for some pit stops, but we did not went anywhere else. We just took a one straight drive. And let me tell you, driving that long on an electric car is tough because you have to stop a lot to charge your car, way more than you would have to stop to fill your gas. But can't complain much because that was a fun trip. And just like that, August was over. And now comes September, and September was epic again because we flew to Las Vegas to celebrate my birthday and our engagement ceremony. Today is my birthday. So rather than sitting home in Scranton, Pennsylvania and doing nothing, I choose to come all the way to Las Vegas to celebrate my birthday. And in
your birthday. I thought it was celebrating our engagement. We're engaged
no,
to your
baby,
today.
I was just kidding. This is an engagement thing.
Are you sure? Is there a camera on?
No, I was just go get ready. On our very first day, we explored a couple of casinos and resorts down the strip, and then later on, I surprised my wife with an epic dinner date on the highest observatory deck of US called the Stratosphere. And let me tell you, it was amazing. On the next day, we explored the Fremont Street, which is the most epic and happening area of Las Vegas. Now, let me tell you, that area is strictly for adults. Don't take your kids over there, but if you are all adults, well, just saying, it's fun. Then for next 2 days, we just walked to explore the whole strip, the main strip of Las Vegas. We almost walked, I'll say 10 to 12 miles a day from one casino to another, to another, to another. It was just amazing. Later on comes the 5th day in Las Vegas, and that's when I saw the most epic and amazing circus show of my life. Just mind-blowing of how crazy people were doing their stunts and how amazingly they were performing. It wasn't just jumping from one spot to another, it was a whole themed story and just an amazing epic show. Now you must be thinking that if I'm in Vegas, I must be gambling. Well, let me tell you, we are not gamblers, nor do I like gambling, but we did gamble just to have fun, just to experience all those things, and we lost all the money. Anything we gambled, we lost, except the very last day when we won all our money back. I don't know how that happened, but somehow we got lucky and won a lot of money. But in the morning, we went to see the Grand Canyon. Most beautiful and amazing landscape that I have ever seen. This was my second time going to Grand Canyon, but even in this second time, I was just mesmerized by its dreamy landscape. Last time when we went to Las Vegas, we did went to Grand Canyon, but we went to the north rim of the Grand Canyon, whereas this time we went to the west rim. And let me tell you, west rim was much more prettier and beautiful. Yes, it was a little bit crowdy because this is more of a happening area than as compared to the north rim, but west rim was beautiful. And just like that, our Vegas trip came to an end and we flew all the way back to New Jersey and then drove back to Scranton, Pennsylvania. And that was the end of September. Now in October, November, December, we again laid low because we wanted to pay all of that credit card debt that we were accumulating throughout the year. But just to tell you, by the time you're watching this video, all the credit card debt has been paid off and we are again free to travel more. So you'll be seeing a lot of more travel videos and much more fun videos in 2023 because I am dreaming, envisioning and manifesting that I will be flying abroad along with my wife. We might be taking a cruise ship and we might be traveling to the center of US in this year. Other than that, I also want to put out that I will be reaching 10,000 subscribers on this channel, and for that you guys will be helping me by dropping a like and leaving a comment, your feedback on how you like this video if you have been over here so far. Anyways, this was the whole story, the whole recap of my 2022. The most blessed and amazing year of my life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope that you will be waiting for the next. But until then, peace.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup.